All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Achak Wadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Real quick, this article, all right, concerning the this whole Venezuela crisis, which seems to be escalating more and more. All right, and this was published today, around let's say 9:18. Okay, it says Venezuela crisis, U.S. threats, border tensions, and humanitarian aid provocations. So it says while the White House is applying maximum pressure on Maduro to force humanitarian convoys into Venezuela, Juan Guaido sneaked into a concert in Colombia in hopes of returning to his supporters with a shipment of U.S. aid. The U.S.-backed self-proclaimed leader of Venezuela set February 23rd as his flashpoint date for a showdown with the government of President Nicolas Maduro over foreign humanitarian aid, which has been stockpiled in Colombia, Brazil, and Curacao. Maduro refused to allow the opposition to get hold of the U.S. cargo, and with the military on his side, sealed borders with neighboring countries. U.S. mounts pressure on Maduro and Venezuelan military, and and see the U.S. man, they have a reputation of doing that. Okay, they don't care about the so-called betterment of that country, because even the civilians and the military, they all saying nah, they with Maduro. So why is the U.S. so hell bent, all right, on getting him out of power, all right, and having their controlled opposition in there? It's not for the people, okay? So they do all these they bring out false information, propaganda, and all of that stuff to try and push that agenda, okay? But let's keep reading. It says U.S. mounts pressure on Maduro and Venezuelan military, relentless in its drive to sway the army's support away from Maduro. Donald Trump's administration has reportedly threatened to deport the relatives of any Venezuelan officers if they follow their government's orders. What does that sound like? Why is the U.S. so hell bent, all right, on having its fingers in Venezuela? You know, and like I said, it's not in the name of helping the people there. All right, it's for their own agenda. So it says following their government's orders, harm the opposition or prevent the aid from entering Venezuela. Earlier this week, Trump issued an ultimatum to Venezuela's military, urging them to join the U.S.-led effort to depose Maduro or to suffer consequences. Washington has never ruled out the possibility of using military force to reinstate democracy in Venezuela, and the U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton abruptly canceled his trip to South Korea just ahead of Donald Trump's planned meeting with Kim Jong-un. According to Bolton's spokesperson, the notorious hawk will instead keep a close eye on Venezuela from Washington, alongside the special U.S. envoy for Venezuela, Elliot Abrams, who by coincidence is known for running guns under the guise of humanitarian aid for the Contras of Nicaragua. You see? So yeah, more than likely they are trying to they go under the guise of aid when really they, you know, it's not a surprise if they have weapons in there that they're trying to get into the hands of the quote unquote opposition. So it says Washington denies using aid as a decoy. After another U.S. Air Force plane landed in Colombia on Friday afternoon, the State Department rushed to dismiss as preposterous any rumors that it was carrying anything else but humanitarian aid. Yet Moscow believes the U.S. is preparing a sizable weapons shipment for Venezuelan opposition in early March. According to FM spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, the armaments likely to be purchased in an Eastern European country could include large-caliber machine guns, grenade launchers, assault rifles, and portable anti-aircraft rocket systems. That's some heavy artillery. Okay, all for what? So it says Guaido sneaks into Colombia for humanitarian aid concert. In violation of the travel ban, Guaido arrived in Colombia to attend a fundraising concert bankrolled by the British billionaire Richard Branson. Besides massive cheers from the crowd, the 35-year-old opposition uh, politician was agreed by presidents of was greeted by presidents of Colombia, Chile, and Paraguay. Yet the show was purely humanitarian in its nature and without any political agenda, the organizers claimed. Guaido reportedly plans to stay in the border town of Cucuta to personally lead the aid caravan across the border into Venezuela on Saturday. It says, so this thing is getting more intense, man. All right, but we can only wait and see. All right, what direction the Most High has us going. Okay, but we know ultimately, man, that Third World War is really gonna be heated. All right, around the Middle East with Russia, Iran, and the U.S., man. But some way, somehow, man. All right, because Russia's already talking about their missiles, okay, and sending threats. Because the Most High is what? He's putting that spirit back in them, you know. He's putting the hooks back in Gog and Magog and turning them around, stirring up that warlike spirit. It says Caracas seals borders and holds rival hashtag hands off Venezuela concert. To prevent any security threats and illegal crossings, the government of Venezuela announced the temporary closure of border bridges that connect the country to Colombia. Fearing potential provocations, the government earlier closed the border with Brazil and shut the maritime border with the Dutch Caribbean island of uh, Curacao. Venezuelan authorities insist they would accept European aid and deliveries under the auspices of the UN, but would never allow U.S. shipments to cross the border and go directly into the hands of the opposition, bypassing official channels. Yeah, because the U.S. has now proven that they're not trustworthy. Okay, they don't go to other countries for the sake of aiding and helping them. All right, the reason they're in those other countries is for their benefit, for a resource that country might possess, and so in order for them to get their fingers in there, all right, they do that. They try to get the leader out and have somebody they can control, a puppet. All right, that's why they don't trust the U.S.'s aid, man. So it says bypassing official channels. In the meantime, thousands of supporters of Maduro government gathered for a rival concert to demonstrate their resilience and readiness to defend Venezuela's sovereignty. Border clashes and no-shoot orders. Despite the precautionary measures adopted by the government, Friday saw heightened tensions and the first clashes at the border with Brazil. At least two people were allegedly killed and over a dozen others injured in the town of Kumaracape during skirmishes with security forces. Yet the government was quick to dismiss the opposition's accusations that soldiers used live fire against civilians. It says here what happened has nothing to do with the versions that have circulated. See, Venezuela's foreign minister George Ariza said in New York at UN headquarters, claiming that some of the wounded were injured with knives, machetes, and even arrows. Maduro would never give orders to shoot unarmed people, the foreign minister insisted, accusing the opposition of following U.S. regime change script and seeking to provoke the armed forces into clashes. All right? So, like we said, the U.S. has a history of it. There's nothing new. They're just trying to do it again. They're trying to rinse and repeat, but this time they're having a little trouble. Okay? So, we're gonna see what happens. All right, and see just how far this thing goes, man. Okay, but hey, we're in that time, man. All you hear, all right, is just tensions here, left and right. Okay, man, the Most High is about to let all hell break loose upon this planet Earth, man. All right, but with that, I'm gonna end it there. Hope it was edifying to the elect. All right, and shalom.